just a couple of quick tips. Again, you have different brushes with different shapes. In this case, this is one of my favorites, a nice wide, flat brush with a nice sharp edge. These come in a variety of sizes, so depending on the size of work you're doing. And then you have these nice little round brushes that are great for detail, like this one here. So I'm going to get a little color on there. So this one is sharp, and if I want to do something smooth and roundish, or even treat it like a pencil, these little sharp brushes work pretty well. If I want to paint something straight or flat, see how different the stroke is with this brush. Here is a squarish brush. You can see the shapes it's going to make. But I can also pull it on the sharp edge. That's that same brush, pulling it on the sharp edge, getting a nice fine line. And with a little control, you can do both. Start on the sharp edge and then turn it sideways, and then go back to the sharp edge again. And here's a much larger round brush. And again, I just want you to notice that there's variations in what you can do with this by how you turn it, how you lay it down, and how you apply various amounts of pressure. I'll talk for just a second about getting set up to paint. When you're using these gouaches, they're water-based, so it helps to have a lot of different water supplies around. I have a little jar here with clean water. I can pour this into the small cup for my very last cleaning of every brush. Then I have some dirty water in here. Then I start my brushes there, get them as clean as I can, then I move them to the clean water, and then I want a rag or a paper towel right next to where I'm working. I can blot things dry, add more water. I can go back and forth my water to my palette. You don't have to have a fancy palette like this. Any plastic paper plate will work. To make a long story short, you want clean water. You want 2 or 3 different containers. One for the cleanest water, one for the dirtier water, and all your paints and everything right at hand, and make sure you have some rags or paper towels with you because you will be making a mess sooner or later. You're also going to want 1 can that's dry for your clean brushes. Gone through the dirty water, going into the clean water, going onto my paper towel here to blot it dry, and I'm going to put that brush away. That way I can keep all my brushes clean and keep them from messing up anything. Gouache is basically a very thick watercolor paint. You paint with it much more thickly than you would with watercolor, but you squeeze from your tube pure thick paint here, which is pretty thick and pretty dark. But before you do that, always wet your brushes, and you can also add a lot of water to that. You can water it down quite a bit, and then you can use it for sort of wash techniques where you see the water more like you would in watercolor. But you can also paint with very thick coats, and it's an interesting paint because it dries really fast.